You can pay $3,000 for Cartier Tank, or you can pay about $500 for solid gold tank style watch from the legendary brand like Cartier. Cartier will be in steel, this will be in solid gold. Both watches will have similar sizes and they look about the same. Cartier will be quartz, this will have one of the legendary mechanical movements. Cartier will be modern, this is vintage, but do you want to pay so much more for so much less? Keep watching. Right now people pay absolutely no attention to old American tank style watches. That's why you can get such a good deal. You can buy this Patek quality watch for like $500 and it's in solid gold. I actually made much more larger video about those watches and that era, so click over here. I'm not gonna be repeating myself, but if you at that time, if you wanted top brand, like if money was no object in United States, you would buy yourself Hamilton. So at that time Hamilton was something like today you would think, oh, I'm gonna buy myself a Patek. So at that time that quality and that prestige was Hamilton. Hamilton was much more known than Cartier and probably even more desirable than Cartier because that was what everybody wanted, and top Hamilton models were made in solid gold. So this is one of them. So when we talk about Hamilton Gilbert, so like the elephant in the room is size. So let's talk about size. I'm comparing Hamilton Gilbert to Cartier Tank, which is in modern. So if you go to Cartier AD, they have the small size. So so right now they make this like small and large, there's nothing in the middle. So large is like way too large. They also make this like XL, which is absolute abomination. But why I'm thinking this small size is because this is pretty recent that Cartier started making these large sizes. So like if you think iconic Cartier Tank for men, that was 23 by 30. So that's like if you see all these like pictures of all these like celebrities men wearing Cartier Tank, that was that iconic 23 by 30 size, which is in modern watches that's Cartier Tank small. Actually in small they shaved just 1 millimeter, but it's pretty much about the same. There were even smaller models in the old times, so if you think Cartier Tank women's, like even smaller watch. But if you want to wear this iconic Cartier Tank and you want to have this iconic Cartier look, which is so famous, right? So you need to go with Cartier small, which is and the old one was 23 by 30, and that Cartier size compares very well with Hamilton Gilbert, which is 21 by 33. So Gilbert is just slightly bit narrower but a little bit longer than classic iconic Cartier Tank, and I tried both and Gilbert wears very similar to that iconic small Cartier Tank, but it feels maybe just a hair bit larger. But that's why I'm saying, like, the sizes, the Gilbert and iconic Cartier Tank size, they are very similar. But if you got used to modern watches or you want modern Cartier Tank, you like Cartier Tank large, then Gilbert will probably be not for you, because this like modern monstrosity did not exist in the old times. And like movement, if you buy a Cartier tank for this like for $3,000, right, not more, that there are much more expensive models, but if you buy the one for $3,000, they used to have this like Solo, now they have Cartier Must, but basically whatever you buy, you're gonna spend about $3,000, you're gonna get quartz movement. There is nothing against quartz, but if you compare it to Gilbert, the Gilbert has one of the most legendary American movements. So this is Hamilton 982. Hamilton was producing it for very, very long time. There are a lot of parts. That movement is absolutely legendary. That movement was so famous that there was time when Hamilton actually put, you know how Grand Seiko has solid gold medallions on the back, so they used to put solid gold medallion on the movement where nobody can see it. That's how good that 982 movement was. Now case and crystals. So if you look at the Gilbert case, it's much more interesting, it's much more appealing case and look than boring Cartier tank, and they have this very, very high crystal, which was common for that era. So while both Gilbert and Cartier tank, they were very, very similar, you get the very, very similar look, kind of like you see me wearing it, but Gilbert is not a homage to Cartier tank. Gilbert's its own watch, and actually if you look at those American tank style watches, they are all very, very different. Like Cartier tank wasn't something that anybody wanted to copy, because big famous companies like Hamilton, they had their own designs, and I don't think they would think that Cartier is better in any way than their own designs. Now if we look at the dial, so one thing that Gilbert in this like late 40s lost, Hamilton used to make all dials kind of like what Eric Wind explained about how some Patek dials were made in his second talk at Horological Society. So Hamilton called this inlaid enamel dials. Unfortunately, Gilbert, so if you look at everything which is in black here, right, so unfortunately this is not inlaid enamel dial, this is just printed the same way how if you buy Cartier that's the same, that's going to be printed, right? But Gilbert still has this amazing Hamilton quality, top quality. Gilbert still has solid gold, applied gold numerals, and this is something that Cartier didn't even dream about. Look how cool they are, these like applied 18K solid gold numerals. Now there are some advantages of Cartier tanks. So Gilbert has very just generic crown, nothing special, but Cartier has this very, very cool, this like synthetic stone crown. I really like it, and probably the biggest benefit of buying actually modern Cartier tank is that it has 30 meters water resistant. At that time, American watches kind of like Gilbert had absolutely no water resistance. Like why I like even like 30 meters water resistance is so much, because pretty much Cartier tank can be your only watch, right? Whatever you do, it's raining, you're washing your like dishes, whatever, like you can always keep your Cartier tank on. Unfortunately, if you get a Gilbert, there will be some days that you would want to use a different watch in your collection, but yeah, it's still most days you're not getting wet, so you should be able to wear it. In old times, people knew how to have watches like that, non-water resistant watches like that, as their only watch they owned, but we got spoiled with modern watches. And yeah, actually, like 30 meter water resistance is more important than you think. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, please subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you, bye.